Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Women's Gear Index video podcast mashup that we are officially calling Gear Gabs. So if you missed our last episode, we did unveil our new name, which is Gear Gabs. So this is now the space where myself, Rebecca, and Rachel and Annie talk about gear and gab about our running lives. So welcome to everybody. If you're new, welcome to Women's Gear Index. We're three women who are very passionate about the gear that we choose to trail run in. And if you are not new here, welcome back to our gear friends. But today we are talking about the Mount to Coast shoes, as well as some of our own training updates and maybe some thoughts on Cocodona and recently controversial Satisfy Influencer Summit, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, let's get started. Annie, how have things been?
Awesome. Hi, so good to see you guys. Things have been really good. It's been okay. Well, actually, that's maybe not entirely true. That's just sometimes what you say when people ask you how you are. But I had a challenging couple weeks with, I think I mentioned it on our podcast last week or the week before, but I've had an issue with my lower leg, with my tibia flaring up. And it's something that's been a challenge for me for about 5 years, to be honest. And I think I said this, but I'm starting to really figure out what's going on. And I think the issue is terrain specific. And so it flares up on like specific types of terrain. And that for me is like mountain bike trails that have kind of that like off camber, can have that like divot where the mountain bikes go through. That was really flaring it. And then like super steep like ups and downs and then like bombing downhills. I love running downhill. And so I'm often like trying to run quickly downhill. And I think that was flaring it. So I'm really starting to hone in on exactly like what's flaring it and finding the things that don't flare it. And I'm getting into a stride now with training in a way that like feels really good. And finding the things that like yeah, where I can build fitness but not like aggravate my lower leg. And so that's like just feeling very motivating after like a very challenging few weeks, to be honest. And yeah, so I'm think on the upward trajectory, upward swing, and got to do a bunch of vert with Rachel this morning and got out the poles, which was really fun.
Nice.
And so yeah, I think there's been some really positive momentum, but not without its challenges. But I've been working with a mental coach the last few weeks, and I think
Cool.
that's been a really positive. Yeah, have you guys had any experience
Yeah.
working with mental coaches?
No.
Um,
No.
I'm sure it's
yeah,
great though.
It's been really enlightening, and I think just having the space to like talk about some of like anxieties that come up with your body and training and racing, and having someone who can be a sounding board to talk through those things has been really helpful too. So I think yeah, I think the biggest thing I've learned over the past few weeks is like we talked a lot about how one of the hardest things dealing with injury is feeling this like sadness of not being able to like experience the process. And like I just love the process of training so much. But I had this like aha moment during one of our sessions where I was like, but this is the process. Like, going through ups and downs and going through challenges and like feeling like deep sadness sometimes of things not working out exactly as you want. Like, unfortunately, that is part of the process. And I think that's been like honestly a really enlightening feeling of like, yeah, it sucks, but like this is sort of what you signed up for and that's okay. And like it almost makes it feel better in a lot of ways too. So
Yeah.
um yeah, so that's what's been on my radar. I feel like a lot of growth and just a lot of like learnings that are hopefully can translate outside of running too. So
Mhm.
Injuries are hard.
they really are.
They
It's just
are.
not an
Yeah.
easy sport. I know I think I called you last weekend, Rachel, and I was like super bummed out and was like, remind me why I do this again. Like, but the sport is it just gives so much. And like, I am so grateful for it, but it really is, it's challenging when you go through these things. And I feel like for me, and I don't know if this like resonates with you guys too, but this is just such a big part of like my lifestyle. Like, is weekends are spent going on runs and going on adventures, and when that's like threatened, it feels very scary. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's just like it's such a big part of like who I am and what I love to do. So um, yeah, good. I think all in all, we're heading in a positive direction. So it's been fun getting to like really hammer the vert the last few days. Rachel is crushing, and Rachel showed me the what might be the oldest Lecky poles I think I have ever seen today.
I
So
actually just Googled Lucky Pulls because I was like, I should probably get some new ones. I pulled them out and Annie was like, those are old.
I said they look retro.
Annie, no gear
Retro.
shaming.
And I was like, I've literally haven't used these since 2018. I think I used them at
Hmm.
Speed Goat. And then before that, I used them at UTMB. So I hadn't used them in 8 years. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Wow.
Like, they haven't updated. Like, I'm not up on pole tech. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's not like they've updated that much. And Annie was like, yours are heavy. I was just like, no chance mine
Think
are
about the
heavy.
ounces you could be saving,
Well, I
Rachel.
was like, okay, like, yeah, my arms are going to be bulked after today using
Yeah.
heavy poles one day. But I
Yeah.
felt Annie's and I felt mine. And I was like, oh, there's a little bit of a difference here.
I was
Yeah.
thinking about it after the fact though, Rachel. Are those are aluminum, aren't they? They're not carbon.
No, they're carbon.
Really?
Yeah. It says carbon on it. says carbon 100 or
What
something.
is a different type of
There's
carbon?
some carbon in there.
It's like
Yeah.
4% carbon
Yeah.
and 96% aluminum. They felt significantly different than these.
Okay, but
Plus,
poles are expensive. I was thinking they were going
They
to be like
are.
$100. They're 200. No, they're
Yeah.
$220. They're on
Yeah.
sale right now for $199 on a certain website. But obviously, I want the pink ones because my red ones look retro and I like pink.
yeah,
But they don't have all the sizes. So
I know.
Oh no.
I yeah.
it was fun to
It,
use them. I feel like the last time when I was trying to use poles a lot, I was like not super into it. I think I was a
Hmm.
much better uphill runner back then. And it's something that I've been working on recently or struggling with is running uphill without feeling like incredibly inefficient. And
Hmm.
today using the poles, I mean, we were literally going like straight up.
Yeah.
So they were quite helpful. Like they would have
Hmm.
been way more helpful, I think, than putting like my hands on my knees.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
for
Yeah.
they
sure.
were super helpful.
It was surprisingly steep. We went up the boot pack route on Snow King, like right in town, and
Hmm.
it was deemed very difficult. And I would say it was very difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, the route,
But
the
you guys
routes
got
was
in
like
a lot of
yeah,
vert
very
this
different.
morning.
Um,
Did
Like 4,000 feet of climbing. Crazy.
that was Rachel. Rachel
Oh,
did
okay.
that.
but
Okay.
you got
Um,
4,000 yesterday,
Incredible.
so yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
yesterday
hiking focused. It was really fun.
super super fun. And yeah, I think it's like really great training. So um Rachel is training for you're training for Speed Goat. And like such
Twisted
good
fork
training.
first.
Twisted Fork, yes, coming up soon. And then I'm training for CCC, and I feel like yeah, last year, so I did CCC last year, 2025, and I did not train appropriately for that race. I thought it was a lot more runnable because of watching the live stream was my main way of getting familiar with the
Hmm.
course. And let me just say that they are very selective about the types of terrain that they show on the live
Yeah.
stream. They don't
Yeah.
show you the really nasty, like super, super gnarly climbs that you have, especially in the second half of the race. And so I
Hmm.
am so much more thoughtful this year about the type of training that I'm going to do to be more specific because like living in the Tetons, we actually have a lot of really good training ground for UTMB and CCC. And I just didn't do it last year. I don't know what I was doing. It was really bad. So
Yeah, I would say
um
we probably have one of the best in the states of like in terms of bang for your buck vert. Like we've got really steep climbs. Like you can get a lot of vert in a short amount of time and you can also get a lot of vert like the climb one of the climbs in the park is like, you get 4,000 and it's just a consistent climb all the way up and then you get a 4,000 descent. And
Oh.
so we've got a lot
Oof.
of
and
like good
we
training grounds for it.
We really do. And
Mhm.
I feel like we get left out of the conversation
No one
sometimes.
ever
But
mentions the Tetons.
no one ever mentions the
That
Tetons
seems
when they talk.
crazy.
I know.
Yes.
Everyone's like, 'cause I think it was, Swap got asked a question about the best places to train for UTMB, and the
Mhm.
Tetons didn't get mentioned at all. And it was like, go to the San Juans. But I think one of the best things too about living in, oh, now we're just talking about how great the Tetons are. But one of the best things too is like, we don't have to be at altitude. So like we live at like
Yeah.
6,500 feet. And so I think that's also just like better for your body, not having to
Mhm.
deal with recovering
Like
at like
super high
super high. Yeah,
Mhm.
like
or like
silver.
a good high.
Yeah,
Mhm.
totally. So, anyways, yeah, so it's a good, I'm excited about this year, just like the momentum of feeling like my body can handle the type of s- specificity for CCC. Like right now,
Mhm.
my body's really like enjoying vert and like not doing a ton of like fast flat running. It's like so the vert is working really well. So I'm like, okay, I think we've got this team.
Mhm.
We're gonna show up. So Rebecca, how's your training going for OCC? I'm really excited to hear how that's going.
It's rolling through. Yeah, I've had 2 good weeks of training where I've made it over 50 miles both weeks, which I haven't done in a while, but that feels good. I'm doing mostly threshold workouts on flat roads during the week and then just going on some longer weekend runs and like getting the mileage up. But I'm actually been surprised that I'm feeling good. That also might be because I have a coach again, which I haven't had for like several months now. So it's really nice to have someone deciding what you're running. I really love that support.
Yeah.
And we've been doing all like time-based runs, which
Mhm.
I'm realizing I have been really loving. Like, okay, you're doing 70 to 90 minutes. Your long run is 3 hours. And so I can choose like, oh, do I want to run a hillier 3 hours this week or a flatter? And like that's been really nice. So I've
Mhm.
really appreciated that. And yeah, it feels like this week felt really nice. Like I felt strong, finished my run this afternoon and was just like, okay, cool. Like I'm not wiped out, which is great. And so definitely feel ready to like get some more miles in, which is a really good feeling. So yeah, that's been going really well, honestly. Like, and the weather is nicer now. I mean, for you guys, obviously, like it's always been nice here for the last like couple months, but it's getting like sunnier in the mornings now instead of like really overcast
Mhm.
and like it actually does get like 90% humidity here in the mornings.
Oh my.
Sometimes so like I hate running in that, but now it's kind of been like clear in the mornings and it's clear like throughout the day. And I love this time of year when it's like getting light before 6 a.m. So I'm like naturally waking up early
So
and I
nice.
still feel like rested. So yeah, just got to say, this is a really nice time of year to have like longer weekend runs, but also like sunrise runs have been really nice. But yeah,
Mhm.
Oh,
I think
sounds
that's pretty much all I've been up
sounds so
to.
nice. Well, really
Yeah.
excited to hear that working with the coach is going well. I can definitely second how how nice it is to not have to think about your training. I really, really value
Yeah.
that. And just having a coach that like understands your goals and where you're trying to go and can
Mhm.
really do take a lot of that off of your plate. So that's awesome to hear. And
Yeah.
plus one for time based. It's the best.
Time-based is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've been having like, I don't know if you guys have this, but sometimes it feels like every other week I have like different like training goals for OCC. It's like one week I'm like maybe like I don't have as much work stuff going on that week, so I'm like, yeah, I'm like really gonna hit this workout, and I really want to have like a performance based goal. And then like last week was like pretty busy at work, so I was like, you know what, I'm just like really enjoying running and like I just love having a training block to do. It's like really nice structure for my life and like I just want to be out there running. So like I'm still kind of in that like every other week maybe I have a different goal, but either way, I'm getting the runs in and I'm like enjoying it. So that's what's like most important to me right now is like not feeling stressed about training and just like really liking getting out the door and trying all of the shoes and gear.
Oh, yeah. Polo
That's
shoes.
nice. Turns out,
Yeah.
like, training with a full-time job is very hard. For I
So
It
hard.
used to be, like, really easy when I was younger. Like, I used
Yeah.
to be able to do everything, it seems like, and now I'm like, this is hard. It's hard to fit it all in.
Is
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that way too, Rachel. Is the difference I feel like I prioritize things like health and sleep and, like, nutrition and keeping my house clean and, like, being a good
Mhm.
partner, and there's, like
Oh,
feels like there's a lot more moving and, like, doing well
that's
at my job, like, not to
Yeah.
say I
yeah.
wasn't doing a good job in my 20s at my job, but, like, I don't know if it was
That's
quite
funny.
I
I was
just had
actually
less job
telling
responsibility in my 20s.
Yeah, you're like, all of a sudden, now you're important at work and things feel
Yeah.
things feel a little
Like,
more
oh,
stressful.
shoot.
I was telling a story how, like, the other day to a younger runner that I was running with, and I was like, "Yeah, when I was in my 20s, like, I remember when I was in Vermont, I was working as a dorm parent, working as a waitress, and, like, working as a ski instructor and training full-time and, like, skiing, and I remember there was this one day that was so booked, and I didn't wake up in the morning to train, and I had to work at the restaurant at night, and at 10 o'clock in the winter in Vermont in a snowstorm, I went for, like, an hour run.
And you did
Or
run.
it was, like, an hour to 90 minutes.
I've had
I
that
should
moment too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
would
something
never,
similar. Yeah,
ever do that. Like,
no.
you could
Yeah.
not pay me to do that now, which I'd like to think
Yeah.
I'm smarter. Um, I'm like, "Man, I was so disciplined back then," but I'm also, like, "and dumb."
Yeah.
Like, sleep would have been
And
better,
maybe not
right? Like,
eating
Yeah,
enough because, like, nobody was
definitely
eating
not
enough
eating
back
enough.
then.
There was
Yeah.
no 0 shot I was eating enough.
yeah,
Um so you're right, Annie. I was like, yeah, I'm a more well-rounded person, than I
Yeah.
was in my 20s, I would say.
yeah. It is it's a lot, but it's fun. I am enjoying, like, mixing it up and fitting it all in. But I think, like, Rebecca, you saying that week by week, kind of taking your
Mhm.
training goals and adapting them with how things are going that week is so spot on, and I think it's, like, a really healthy approach. It's actually something I've been talking to my mental coach about, is, like, that flexibility piece of, like, I am gonna show up and try to be the best version of myself or best athlete that I can be with the
Mhm.
tools that I have at my disposal at that, like,
Yeah.
given moment, and I think that's been really resonating with me, especially as I've been kind of going through, like, ups and downs is like, what do I have to work with
Mhm.
right now? And I'm gonna do my best. And that might be going out for an hour like power hike. And I'm gonna be stoked
Mm,
on that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, flexibility is so important.
mhm.
Yeah, I
So
had a
yeah,
coach
well,
in high school. He used to say, sorry, the last thing to wrap this up.
no,
I had a coach in high school who he would say, like, if I want you to give me like 100% of whatever you have that day. So if you only have like 80%, like give me 100% of your 80%. And like, even though I do think we had moments in my high school team where we were definitely running too much and doing like really intense stuff, I did appreciate that attitude. And I will say we had really good recovery run days where we were like
Mhm.
the slowest Z1 recovery runs. And I loved those days so much. But yeah, I think it's like a nice mental reminder if you, like this week, I had a really bad night of sleep before a workout, and I was like, oh no, the workout's gonna be bad. Like, I'm gonna feel so bad. And I was like, you know what? Just gotta, whatever I have today, I just gotta give 100% of that. And then I surprised myself. Like, I felt better because I had like made that, like adjusted. So yeah, all of
yeah,
that's to say, mental part of training is super important, and I'm glad that we're all that we're all adapting adapting
yeah,
appropriately.
totally. Speaking of, yeah, a bad night of sleep, how are you guys finding so we've been testing out the
Oh
Amazfit
yeah,
watches. I think we're all wearing them. So we're testing out the Amazfit
I haven't.
T-Rex Pro 44 millimeter. Um,
Yeah,
wait, what does everybody have as their photo?
mine's a cat. It's a
Mine
cat
is
Wait,
and
my cat
sunflowers.
specifically.
Oh,
Oh,
I still haven't
I'm
changed
hearing you
mine to
speak
my cat.
about
Oh, yours is cute.
guys, me and Mr. Miles. And then oh, I do
Oh,
have you can switch. You can kind of make it like a little rotating photo album, which I think is so cute. So every time you hit it, it switches to a new photo.
wow.
So yeah, I love the use case for that. Just showing, unsolicited photos of your dog to people that you see
Yeah,
out on the trails. So
yeah,
my dog's not with me, but here he is. You can see him.
yeah.
So But yeah, one thing I like about the watch is I normally don't sleep in a watch, but in order to test the watch and all of its capabilities, I know some of us have been sleeping in it. And the one thing I really do like about this watch is like it is quite kind to you, and like
Mhm.
especially having used things like a Whoop, or I've never used a Aura
Mhm.
ring, but I had a Whoop when they
Mhm.
were like first popular back in like 2021, and it was so mean and would really make me feel bad about like, oh, do you had a glass of wine, or you had like a margarita with your friends last night? Well, you feel terrible today, don't you? But I feel like this watch doesn't do that to me. So I'm
Yeah, I
enjoying
would
that.
agree.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
better for sure. I would say it's way more generous than like I had both a Whoop and an Aura ring. A real sucker for marketing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wait, did you wear both at the same time?
no, no, that would be
Okay, I
weird.
was like, "Oh my god, that would be just
No, I
getting
had a
all the."
Whoop, and then I stopped
Okay.
wearing it, and then I got the Whoop again, and then I stopped wearing it, and then I got the Aura ring, and then I stopped wearing it, and I've committed to a tech-free lifestyle because it gets in my
Oh.
head, and I don't need to know how badly I'm sleeping, but I have been
Mhm.
wearing this, obviously, to test the watch,
Yeah.
and I would say it's, like, it's quite generous, and I
Mhm.
don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but it has a red light for night.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, I thought I was, like, being tech savvy.
Wait, what do you mean?
'Cause I
Sorry, maybe you are being super tech savvy. Do you mean, like, it has a flashlight? So I feel like Inspector Gadget
no.
sometimes. Because oh,
Yes.
oh, I didn't know this. See?
Oop,
Okay, so
oh, no, I'm ejecting
Oh.
water. Sorry.
okay,
So
it does have
still
an
getting
eject
used to all the
water
features.
Yeah. Anyways,
Um,
Draco's fully
okay,
dead.
so for those of you that
Yeah.
are yeah, okay, well, I was gonna say for those of you that are not watching the video, but we are currently only on YouTube, so everyone's
Yeah.
watching the video. But so that's a really cool feature. So it's not like super bright. I just been turning it on sleep mode at night.
That's
Yeah,
cool too,
same.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I do
but
It's
both.
interesting. Yeah, I have
I
like an Aura ring and this, and I used to wear my Garmin like all the time. Because I probably look at data a little too much, but I do think this is better at sleep tracking than the Garmin. The Garmin would be like, you slept so good on a night where I was like, I definitely did not sleep good. So this
okay.
one, it's like, it gives me a little more sleep credit than the Aura ring, and it
Hmm.
has my resting heart rate like a little higher than my Aura ring, but like the HRV is pretty similar.
Oh,
The
interesting.
like wrist heart rate is pretty similar to my Garmin. I haven't attached a heart rate monitor to it. I think we were just all texting about that. I don't think anybody has, but it seems like it does a good job. I feel like I learn about a new feature every day. Like there's
Yeah.
so many things that I haven't learned, but one thing I really like is that for my training peaks, it'll like sync with the watch. I don't remember like making this connection with the training, but whatever it is, the way it syncs with Training Peaks is like my coach will write a workout, and it doesn't have like a workout builder like in Final Surge. So, but the workout is written and then the watch reads it and then it makes
Hmm.
the workout like in the watch. So
Oh,
like I didn't
cool.
have to build the
Oh,
workout
wow,
at
that's
all.
really nice,
It was just
actually.
written so well. And like, so when I go like, and cause it's planned on my day, like when I start my run on Thursday, it's like, do you want to do your workout? And I like check the steps and I'm like, oh yeah, all those steps are right. And I just press do the workout.
Dang,
So
What?
that's been like the coolest thing about this watch so far. I'm like,
that's actually
because it's
so
got
Okay.
like
nice.
AI on it. It's got like, there's
Oh,
AI
it
on
does
the
have
watch. Yeah.
it does have AI on the watch, which is kind of funny.
Really?
Um, yes, but wait, Rebecca, I need to figure out how you did this. So let's sync offline about this
I
because
don't know. Yeah.
mine doesn't do that. And I use Training Peaks, and my coach Sarah puts in workouts. And I mean, I don't know, no, it doesn't do
I don't
that.
know if
And I
it's
think
just
that
the
would
way
be
it's written, but it can read it. And like
wow,
I didn't have to build because
so
I was like, how
smart.
do I build a workout in this? I don't understand. But then it just read it. And I was like,
Wow.
wow, this is
Okay.
great.
Well, that's pretty
So
sweet.
we'll just figure it
I'm
out.
loving the watch so
We'll figure it
far.
out
I
together.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, for context, I've been running in a Koros Apex Pro that I got in July of 2020. So it's almost 6 years old at this point. And that watch I just love that watch so much. So it was a bit of a I think I have like high standards because that watch has super, super long battery life. It's just really user friendly. Like the interface is really easy. And honestly, I kind of love that the Coros Apex Pro doesn't have a ton of bells and whistles. It just makes it really easy to manage and navigate. But the one thing I will say is 6 years has improved like GPS capabilities and like syncing with your
Yeah.
phone capabilities. Everything is so much faster and just works so much more seamlessly. Like I press finish the workout and it immediately is already like on training peaks. It's so fast. So
Yeah.
and the GPS, I feel like it's really good at vert is very accurate, and then the mapping capabilities are really good. Those are like things I've noticed so far, but I'm excited to keep using it. I did finally today figure out how to turn it off and so that it would stop talking to me because it kept talking to me.
Yeah,
And I was like,
I gotta do that. I just keep forgetting because then I'll
that was
finish
the
my
first
run
thing
and
I
I'll be
did.
like, okay, that was great. And then the next time I start my run, it's like, run started. But it's like, and
Well,
then every
I do
time I was running with my husband today and we were laughing because when it announces the mile, it's like, it talks like it's out of breath, like it's like taking a breath. It's like, you
have
have run 1 mile. I'm like, dang, why are you so out of breath? Like, I'm the one running.
I'm the one running.
Yeah.
Literally, Grayson said the same thing. He's like, she's talking so slow. Like, is she good?
Yeah. I'm like, what's going on?
But I do have a funny anecdote from using the watch last weekend when I had a tough run last weekend. My leg was really flared, and I think it was just the terrain I was running on was not working for my body, and I was very feeling confused and just frustrated. So got back to the car, super sad, press finish, and my watch goes, "Congratulations. You have just set a new PR. Take a break." I was like, "Thank you. I don't want to take a break.
Take a
Read the
break.
room. Thank you." I ran 1.2 miles and I walked it in
Yeah.
the last 0.2
Yeah.
miles. Like,
You deserve a break, though.
It's a big
take a break.
trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I'm really stoked on the Amazfit watches. I feel like super nice company too. And yeah, I'm really excited to keep testing the watch and putting out a review here soon. Anything else you guys are testing that you're enjoying?
Just a lot of
I think we've all been
vests,
wearing that
testing
Osprey
vests.
vest. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a good run with the Osprey vest today. Honestly, doing a ton of miles still in the Mount to Coast shoes, or one specific Mount to Coast shoe, that I've been really loving, and yeah, John G shorts.
John G shorts. John G shorts. I need to go
Love the
order
John G
another pair of.
shorts.
I ordered
Yeah.
another pair.
You did?
Yeah.
What color did you get?
The blue.
Yeah, they're so
So
cute.
the John G, we just did a review. We just dropped a review on Substack on the Pinnacle RD shorts. They're split short with a built-in belt, and they have them in black and they have them in blue, and the blue is a two-tone blue. And I had a friend ordering. She joined the John G collective to get first access based off of seeing them on
Wow.
me all the time.
Nice.
And
Love it.
so when she was ordering, I was like, all right, throw a pair in for me. And it was
Yeah.
15% off. So it was actually like pretty sweet.
Oh, wow. That's through the John G Collective?
hmm
Wow. That's great.
Yeah,
Not a
there's a
Yeah.
link
promo,
for that.
not sponsored,
Yeah.
not a promo. Just like
Yeah.
No
Not
affiliate
promos.
link, no
Nah,
codes,
no.
just
but yeah, it was great because they went from $115, which is like expensive for a pair of shorts for sure. Again, I do think like with the built-in belt, it's a great pair of shorts, but that's a lot of money. And with the 15% off, it was like $93 that I Venmoed for. So it was still
Totally.
expensive. It was a lot better, and I love the shorts. So
I
I
kind of want to
think
get one of the shirts, the like
I
long
know.
short sleeve shirts, because we got
Yeah.
the singlets to test out, and I do really like that fabric, and it feels really nice. And then I saw on the website that they have like a long short sleeve, so like, you know, goes almost to your elbow shirt, which I feel like would be the perfect longer
Interesting.
race shirt.
that reminds me of bike jerseys.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind
Yeah.
of stretchy and very lightweight. I
Mhm.
would love to get that tee. I think I might order it because I really enjoy the
Yeah.
material is really soft and lightweight, but I love running in tees. I with vests, I
Yeah.
just for some reason I don't like running in tanks with vests. So I might check that out.
Yeah.
I saw it this morning too in the John G email. But
Understood.
Rebecca, anything else that you've been enjoying
Anything
testing
else?
wise? How's the
I will
vest
say, I mean,
testing
I
going?
know I've been wearing mostly the Osprey. Is it Osprey? Not
Yeah,
Osprey.
Osprey.
I say Osprey. Osprey. I say Osprey. I've been wearing that vest a lot too. That's been the one I like grab mostly because I also, and Annie, this is funny because it's actually because I watched the reel that you made, like the video that you made about using the pockets a little better because I think I wasn't utilizing the big pocket that goes like behind the flasks. And that was a game changer because I do get mostly the big precision 90 gels. Yeah, thank you. And
Yeah.
he's holding up the nice
Did they fly
pocket.
out?
Yeah, so I normally have this the big 90 gels. And in that pocket it didn't fly out, but before I was putting it in like the front little
Yeah.
pocket and so it was like bouncing out and I was like, "Oh, I just wasn't really using it to the best of its capability."
It takes some like
But also I've been
finagling.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I figured out the right pocket structure. The one thing I wish it had like a little key zipper or something, because
Mhm.
every time I put my key in, I'm like always checking it, but I'll figure out the right pocket for that. But I've actually been testing out those open fuel,
Oh, nice.
the carb drink mix that we got. Yeah, we got these cool branded carb drink mixes that are like 60 grams of carbs and 500 milligrams of electrolytes. And I had the raspberry flavor today and it was really good. I think that's my favorite flavor that we got.
Oh, nice.
I
So
love
yeah,
the passion fruit.
The
testing all
passion
kinds.
fruit is so good. I love
I
Oh
it.
actually
yeah, the
had it on a
passion fruit's
ride,
good.
on a bike ride, and I was like, "Whoa, this is so good."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like
And
the
the
open
branding
fuel.
is cute.
It's super cute,
Yeah.
and they sent us hats as well. The hats are
Yeah.
really cute. Um, yeah, they're doing a good job. I think they're coming out with a gel, a it's like a DIY gel. I could be wrong. I should have looked this
Ooh,
up, but
okay.
the
We'll
I
look it
think they
up.
are coming out with like some they I think they're coming out with a gel too. Yeah, I've seen that
yeah.
Yeah.
rumor.
Just interesting things going on with gels now. We were texting a couple days ago about Scratch having boxed gels, almost like a box wine
Box gels.
situation.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I
Very
forgot about
interested
box gels. Slap
to
the
replace Slap the
bag.
Bag with yeah,
Don't forget to all the millennials out there, everybody who was in
well, with
college
a
in the
gel.
2010s. Yeah. Can
Get
you
really
imagine?
fired up for carb loading for UTMB
Yeah.
week.
Totally. Well, I really love the idea because I actually enjoy gels, like putting gels into flasks, but like it doesn't really make that much sense to just decant like gels into, I don't know. It's
Mhm,
almost easier for me to keep track of how much I'm taking if I just keep them in the packet. But I do really
mhm.
like the idea of having like a small flask that you just put, 3 or 4 gels in. I think especially for waste, that would be amazing.
Mm,
Because it does
yeah,
create a
that's
lot
a
of
good
Yeah.
point. You don't think it gets stuck? It must be, like, pretty liquid to not get stuck in
pretty
that.
Yeah, it has to be pretty.
pretty
Yeah.
liquid.
Hmm, interesting. I'm
Um,
intrigued. I'm excited.
yeah. I have actually had really good luck putting gels. Oh my gosh, you guys. I used to use hammer gels, which is I as like
Wow.
up
One of the
until
few.
no, 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 not even 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I was still using hammer gels
Yeah.
until they went on their whole,
Wow.
like, anti-carb tirade, where they
Oh
were
my
putting out all this content saying that, like, you shouldn't do high carb and, like, carbs are not great, and I was like, "Okay, we're just clearly not aligned in our values because carbs, I love them."
I'm on their
So
website right now.
yeah.
Yeah, 20 grams of carbs.
yep.
Yeah.
But I would get they made these, like, huge gel
Mhm.
containers, and then you would just put them into a little flask, but that
Mhm.
gel was very, very thick, and it still somehow came
Yeah.
out of the, flask thing, so I think it works pretty well if it is even,
Yeah.
like, a little more liquid.
And Goo has like the giant ones too, and like they sold it. So I do think
And goo
Goo's
is
been doing
like
stuff for like a long time, I feel like, and people just forget about them. But they had Roctane like before high carb drinks were a thing. We got big flasks. Now we
Yeah,
got liquid gels and chews. Yeah,
yeah,
it's good.
good old goo. Yep, they really
They're
have. They've been
reliable.
They've been reliable. I
Yeah.
can't do it. It's too thick. It's too thick for me. But this is also coming from someone who did hammer gels, which are like slightly less thick than
Goo has
gooses.
really good liquid gels.
Do they?
Yeah, I
Oh,
like their
those like
liquid gels.
They're
yeah.
pretty, like, low. They're, like, 20 grams of carbs or something. It's pretty low, but
Yeah.
they
But
taste
they're
really good.
so
They're, like,
easy to get
peanut butter.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Canyons 2021. Susan ran past me. This woman, Susan, she ran past me and she was so nice and gave me one of those liquid goos and it brought me back to life and I was able to finish the race. It was really brutal. So yeah. Well, that's great. It's glad to hear that folks are testing out the Osprey vest. I think and we're doing some more vest testing. I've been really enjoying the Osprey vest, but figuring out the pocket situation has been vital. Because
Mhm.
yeah, things bouncing out of those front pockets have been like the only my like minor piece of feedback. And then yeah, I've been really enjoying that vest. I've tested out the quiver. So one thing about the Osprey vest is it comes with a pole quiver,
Mhm.
which is nice because the Solomon vest, you have to buy the quiver separate and they're actually not that cheap. And so this comes with it. And I really like the quiver attachment is really easy for folks that have
Mhm.
used the
Oh,
Solomon
yeah.
quiver. It's really hard to get on and
Yeah.
off. Like it's kind of an ordeal. So I like this.
Mhm.
And then yeah, I think I was telling Rachel today, one of my favorite things is just like how it's so nice to have a phone pocket that just fits a phone. Like, is that really
Yeah.
so much to ask? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why that's like
And
such a
it's not
huge
hard to
win.
get the flask back in with the phone in there because of
No.
the flask IUD trademark.
Yes. The
Trademark name.
wings stay, which I was like, okay, that's also
Wing
kind of a
Stay,
funny name.
which still sounds like a pad. That's a
I
period
know.
product for sure. Like,
Very women specific.
yeah.
um, I do like this. I will say, I was talking to one of my friends that has used the Osprey vest as well, and she said that she's very petite, has a small torso, and she said that she had some issues with the bottles being almost like too close to
Oh,
her
yeah.
face, and
Like,
so she hi. So
yeah,
she said taking out the wing stay feature helped and
helps with
like
that.
she
Yeah.
didn't have that issue anymore. So finding what works for everybody. But yeah, it's good vest testing.
Yeah.
So should we talk about
Yeah.
shoes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about shoes.
37 minutes in. We're getting to the shoes.
37.
We have a lot
Well,
to talk about. We got all kinds. We're just
yeah.
gabbing about gear.
Yeah.
So
That's why we
who
call it
wants
Gear
to get us
Gabs.
gear gaps? So we've been testing out the Mount to Coast shoes. We were sent the H1s, the T1s, and the C1s. And I think each of us are going to share our thoughts, each of us covering one of the shoes and with everybody kind of chiming
Mhm.
in as they have thoughts as well. So, do we want to get started with the super hot off the Cocodona press H1s? So, Cocodona
Yeah.
last week, the 250-mile race, there were 3 H1s in the top 5. So, yeah, maybe we'll get started with the H1s.
Yeah, and because there's 3 shoes we're gonna talk about, we're gonna do all the tech specs, like, we'll talk about some that we really felt are important, but we're gonna do, like, all the tech specs on our Substack, and so not going through it as in much detail as we have in the past, just for time purposes, but, yeah, this is a Mount Coast H1 shoe. It is a good gravel mixed terrain shoe. You can see, the lugs are pretty small. And so, really, I tested this shoe on dirt road, the Elk Refuge in Jackson, which um, is one of the easier ones to access over here. It's right in town. And then also on rolling trails and a pretty steep downhill fire road, but
Mhm.
like steep, yeah.
Mhm.
And these are a really fun shoe. I think they're pretty responsive. So it has that circle cell foam, which is they equate that to a Piba foam. But they say it lasts twice as long. And I think that's something to highlight with Mount Coast in general is that a lot of people talk up the durability of these shoes of like lasting. If you're on their Instagram, they repost photos all the time of people like wearing these shoes past, like, I saw one today that was 1,000 kilometers. And
Wow.
so don't ask me what that translates to off the top of my head.
600 miles-ish for those of us.
So, oh yeah, 100K, 60 miles. Great. Smart. So, yeah, the shoes are durable and this is $160.
Yeah.
Hard to beat in my like in these
Uh-huh.
days, trail shoes, hard to beat.
Uh-huh.
I found them I think I found them shockingly responsive
Uh-huh.
on dirt road and like more of those rolling flow trails.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh-huh.
I will say I wore these on one of my long runs. I wore these on like steeper climbing and descending, and I didn't like them for that. I don't
Yeah.
think it's a great shoe for steeps, for anything technical or loose. I remember it was a slippery rock. It wasn't wet, but it was like it was just slick. And I remember like kind of hopping on one foot to it and then just like sliding down it. Um so yeah, but I enjoyed how responsive they were. Honestly, when I put them on my feet and I was running on those rolling trails, I was like, whoa, these kind of feel like the Norda 005s and they're
Mhm.
Mhm.
Half the
half the
price.
price. They're half the price.
Yeah.
Um, don't like obviously not a direct comparison or in-depth comparison, but they did feel really fun, bouncy. Um,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, I have some should I dive into the laces now?
Maybe save the
Yeah, let's
laces till then, or I don't
yeah.
know.
In
I have
general,
so many thoughts on
I'll
the
just show the
laces.
laces.
Yeah.
You can form your own
Yeah.
thoughts based on
Show.
this. I will say I also had a harder time getting like more of a secure fit. It felt like it
Mhm.
lacked structure for my foot.
Mhm.
And I don't think like I would never call myself a
Uh-huh.
person that needs a structured shoe, but compared to something like the T1 that we'll talk about, that fit like a glove. This didn't. It just felt a little lacking for me in that regard.
Rachel,
Okay.
for listeners that might not be as familiar with some shoe terms, can you share a little bit more what you mean when you say structure when we say structured? Like meaning like the way that it cradles your foot, or what are we talking about?
In what I'm talking about here is the way that it cradles my foot. Yeah,
Mhm.
like it almost Ah, it's hard to describe, like, it almost felt like the shoe felt totally flat and there was nothing snugging, making like, wrapping my foot. Like, my foot
Mhm.
didn't feel secured and cozy and yeah, I don't know. Rebecca, do you have more to say on
Would
that?
yeah, it reminds me of like we're making a road shoe, a trail shoe, and we're just putting trail sole on it, but we didn't
Mhm.
change any of the structure. Like that's kind of what it feels like because a road shoe, like you can get by with not having as much structure to it or like having it
Mhm.
like kind of cup your foot in certain ways. So that's just
Yeah.
like what I was thinking of it. Like it just feels like that classic like the first the first round of like trail shoes where big brands were just like we took our favorite road shoe and we just like put a grippier sole on it and now it's a trail
Mhm.
shoe.
Yeah.
But I agree with everything you said, Rachel. Like I wore these on I hiked in them, I wore them on some easy runs, and then I wore them on like one very or like much longer run where I was like on roads, I was on steep downs, I was on steep ups, I was on rolling, and the steep downs they did not do too well
Mhm.
for me either. And it was like a single track like rutted out. So like
Mhm.
not many shoes are doing great there, but like these ones it was
And the
really
shoe's
hard
really
to
not built
like
for that.
yeah, it's not built for that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like
and
like
But we wanna
yeah,
test
they're
it
so
every
tiny. They're
yeah.
like little baby teeth.
they're like that's what they remind me of, like a little
Yeah.
baby teeth. Um, yeah,
But okay, I have a question though, really fast. Was this one really hard for you guys to pull, like on this
Yeah.
shoe, or is it
yes.
Yes.
just my pair of shoes? Okay, I
No,
just
it's
wanted
really
to
hard.
make sure.
'Cause
Oh,
I was
I
adjusting
was
it
like,
the other morning and I was like, it
but
doesn't
only
like
this one. Like the
yeah.
other ones aren't that hard.
It comes undone really easily, but it's really hard to
Yeah,
oh,
this
that was
one
easy. Ooh, it may have just been stuck.
mine was like maybe a little
like I
stuck.
can't get it.
Um,
It's not easy.
Okay, yeah, it's it's not the easiest mechanism. Um, but
And like,
I would say, yeah, I agree with everything that you said, Rachel. I had similar experiences. I brought these on a work trip that I took to Park City a couple weeks ago and ran in them on like a very, very steep, kind of loose ski run on the way down. And I think one of my issues with this shoe is the way that my foot moved around, and I got
Mhm.
a lot of toe banging into the front of the shoe on, like, steep downhills that I today was thinking about in comparison, wearing the La Sportiva Prodigio Pros on, like, a very steep, kinda similar terrain downhill, didn't get any of that, and I think it's just, again, that maybe that lack of, like, structure as much, but I had so much fun running in these shoes on dirt roads. Dirt roads
mm-hmm,
turned to, like, easy rolling trails, and I just found them to be really fun, and the shoes were really enjoyable on that kind of terrain. I think it's just
mm-hmm,
being very thoughtful about the type of terrain that you're running in these shoes is my opinion. And I wouldn't
mm-hmm,
say this would be like a shoe I would buy to kind of support a whole summer of mountain
Yeah.
adventures and,
mm-hmm,
It's
this
not like a quiver killer. It's not a do it all.
yeah.
no. No,
Yeah.
definitely not. So, yeah, so that's the H1s. Were you guys at all surprised that this was kind of the shoe of Cocodona?
Mhm.
I was too.
I mean, yes and no. Like, I think Rebecca, you talked about this a little bit.
Mm-hmm,
I can't imagine running more than like 2 hours in this shoe. I really can't. And maybe that's because of the terrain that in the Tetons is like we don't have enough of the
mm-hmm,
terrain where you would really want to wear this shoe.
Mhm.
Um, I think in Cocodona, obviously it was a star shoe. So like
yeah.
they're doing something right.
Something.
Yeah. Well, in those longer, 200s, you're going over lots of road too. And like, it seems
Yeah.
like there's a lot of those wide fire trail, like gravelly sections. So like, I could see why you'd want a shoe like that. But yeah,
And
like
the cushion
going,
is just
like seeing the video of what going down Eldridge at the end of that looks like, I would be scared to wear this shoe. But obviously, like, if it feels good, it feels good. So like, it was working for people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I was surprised watching the live stream. There was a moment, I think it was maybe, I don't 35 hours in or something where it got muddy, and I was surprised the commentators were wondering if Killian was gonna switch out of his H1s into something different because
Hmm.
Mm.
that it was that slick mud where it's just
Mm,
takes on, and I know even listening to
yeah.
some of the post-race, Rachel was getting a lot of, like, thick like, they were having to stop
Hmm.
every 10 minutes or
It's
so to
like the
get
peanut butter.
thick
Oh,
mud off of her shoes.
yeah.
So I don't think anybody that changed out of the H1s, at least that I heard in
Mm,
the top folks, because Killian left wearing the H1s and wore them the
mhm,
whole time. So yeah, just interesting. At that point, too, I think we talked about this after Tarawera. I do wonder sometimes, like with certain mud, where you're just like, this is kind of an equalizer at this point because
yeah. Yeah.
no shoe's
No
really
shoes,
meant to like
baby.
run in
Yeah.
mud. Yeah. So do we want to talk about the laces now? I know we have some thoughts on this is definitely a different, it's innovative.
Well, I think like should we keep talking about the shoes and then because they're all so
Yeah.
similar and then we can round it out with like our thoughts on the
That,
Mhm.
laces. So
that makes
maybe the
sense.
T1 next
Mhm.
because it is a trail shoe. Sorry. Yeah, trail shoe. Let everybody
Yep.
grab them.
Trail shoe. Trail
Yeah, take
shoe.
it away, Annie.
Vibram Vibram outsole.
Fully trail.
The shoe has a 4 millimeter drop. And this does not have the circles. This has the light cell foam. So it's
Light
a
cell. Yeah.
maybe slightly less responsive foam. But I would say the biggest notice out of the box for me with this shoe was the lugs. They're really, really deep lugs and they're really grippy. And I wore these a lot on some muddy kind of conditions early season where snow had just recently melted and creating some slightly muddier terrain, and I found these shoes to be really grippy and fun to run in. They also I think that this shoe, in the way that the H1s don't have a ton of structure, these shoes do really cradle my foot.
Mhm.
Mhm.
One thing to note though
Mhm.
about sizing, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, is I found the T1 to fit my foot perfectly. And so I normally wear a 9.5. I ordered it. This is a 9.5. It fit my foot
Mhm.
perfectly. I wear 9.5s in pretty much like everything else is kind of standard. That's my size. So when
Mhm.
things don't fit exactly like that, I'm like, okay, not true to size. This felt very true to size. The H ones, my my toes hit the front a tiny bit. So I felt like the H
Yeah.
ones maybe ran a little small and the T ones fit more true to size than the H ones. So I'm curious your guys' thoughts on the sizing.
I mean, I think these
Yeah,
fit
I
so
didn't
well.
have
There's
any
no no.
sizing stuff. Yeah, these
Yeah.
ones, I've never had toe issues with these,
Yeah.
which is great. I think, like, now that I've worn them a couple more times, they do feel a lot better on my foot, but I think, like, the 3rd time I wore them for, like, a 2-hour run, and it was a little rough on my feet. Like, my feet were, like, a little achy after, but then after that, it seems like that's kinda what really broke them in, and now they feel
Mhm.
really nice, and I could definitely, like, I'll definitely choose them for more long runs in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I found them to be really nimble too. So like
me too.
going
Mhm.
down,
I was gonna say that.
yeah, down like steep, something like steep and techie. I was just like boom, boom, boom. Like
Today,
I
when we
just
were
felt
going down that steep section, I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh my gosh, these feel so good."
yeah,
Mhm.
totally. And yeah, I think that this is just a probably like it's just a beefier trail shoe. I
Yeah,
would say what did you guys think in terms of stiffness? Because I found this to be a pretty stiff
it's
shoe.
very stiff.
Yeah, very
Yes.
stiff.
It's so funny. I don't feel like it was that stiff. Like, I
Okay.
mean, I was texting the 2 of you and I was like,
That's
immediately
because you
love.
guys like the speed goats, and you guys don't think they're too stiff. And to me,
But
those things are crazy stiff.
I was like, "These don't feel stiff," but the 2 of you felt like they did. But these
Yeah.
since I pulled these out of the box in one of my first run, I've been consistently wearing these for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3-hour
Mhm.
runs. I wore them on our really steep hiking, which is, like, got pretty steep and loose today. They were great. They felt really nimble on the downhill. Like,
Yeah.
I thought of this shoe similar to the Brooks Catamount 3. I actually
Mhm.
Yep, the 3. I actually
Yeah.
think the Catamount felt stiffer to me and, like, less
Mhm.
cushion, but
Mhm.
more in a way where it is, like, a really good everyday trainer. It
Mhm.
doesn't feel slow, like, there's some shoes that you put on and you're like, "This just doesn't feel that good on my foot." I
Mhm.
think because it is so nimble, it
Mhm.
feels like a pretty quick shoe regardless of
Mhm.
there is no super foam in it, there is no
Mhm.
plate in it. It's $180. It's like
Yeah.
it's a solid everyday trainer, and I
Yep.
have reached for it many, 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 many times.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
still wet
one
because I wore it
thing
today.
yeah, same. Mine's like I'm like, "Oh, little sweaty." Yeah, when you were saying that, Rachel, of, like, on the steep ups, one thing I did notice about these shoes is they don't really, like, bother my calves, even though they're only
Oh,
a 4 millimeter drop, which I think was really interesting. Like, a lot of shoes on, like, a steeper uphill, like, my calves will just get a little tired while they're, like, kind of adjusting, and these ones, like, I don't really seem to have that problem, so I don't know if that's, like, something with the foam or, like,
Mhm.
the
And
structure or whatever, but yeah, I just wanted to note
I
that.
actually misspoke. The Lysol
Yeah.
foam is
Oh.
a supercritical nitrogen infused foam.
Oh, okay.
So I misspoke on that. So
Maybe
it's
that's why.
not so it is providing if I'm gonna compare it to, like, the Prodigy Pro, I don't think it compares
Mhm.
to all the Prodigy Pro you put on a shoe
Mhm.
and you're like, "Man, this feels really good." But I think that tracks with what I said about, like, it does feel good and it doesn't feel slow. It's nimble,
yeah.
it's responsive, and it feels it's I think it's a fun shoe.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I think feel like we're all pretty on the same page about this shoe.
Mhm.
I would buy this shoe and wear it for a lot of different types of runs. I feel like it's a
Mhm.
shoe that performs well in all kinds of different terrain. I think it's a shoe that I find very versatile and
Mhm.
like fun. And it would be a great shoe for big mountain days. I'm thinking like, yeah, big days in the Tetons. I would turn to that shoe. So
Mhm.
good stuff. Okay, we've got the
Okay,
C1.
C1?
C1, our road pivot.
Okay. This is the C1, so this is their super trainer, but then they also say you can use it for like long runs, recovery runs, everything. So it's like a super trainer that can also do it all. And Mount to Coast, for those who don't know, they also have a road shoe called the R1. So that one seems like it's been getting good reviews, but then this is their newest release is the C1. So it is a 6 millimeter drop shoe. The chunkiest part is at 42. So for people who pay attention to how tall their shoes are, at 42 is pretty beefy. Normally I don't really like things that are above 40, but I really like these shoes. And these shoes also use the Circle Cell foam that we discussed earlier, and then there's an Eva bottom layer. But yeah, I'm gonna say like I've been wearing these shoes a lot. Like I wore them for tempo runs. I wear them for some threshold runs. I wear them for easy miles. I've never had issues with them. Like, so I don't know what it is about the shoe, but like my feet really like them.
Mhm.
And so I'm just here to say I'm a huge fan of these shoes. I would definitely recommend them. Like to me, this is what the Cloud Monster 3 Hyper was supposed to be.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's how I feel about this show. I'm like, I
Yeah.
put this on, I was like, wow, yeah, like I could go easy and it doesn't feel weird to be running easy in this. I can go faster and it feels good to be running faster in this. Yeah, I'm like a big fan of this. So I'm very happy that we got these to test because I don't think I would have like sought these out on my own if we
Mhm.
didn't get them to test. And now I recommend them to people. So I don't know what you guys thought of them, but I've been running a lot of miles in these. So
I think what you just said kind of sums up Mount to Coast for me. Like I've been interested in
Mm,
the brand, but it wasn't a shoe that I would have bought because I didn't know anything about it and I didn't necessarily like I wasn't that stoked maybe. And I think what you said sums it up is like I'm glad we got these shoes to test because they are
mhm,
shoes that I would want to buy now.
mhm.
Specifically the T1, I love it. But
And they're so
yeah, I remember
reasonably
when I first
priced.
what?
They're so
Mhm.
reasonably priced. Like I
What
think
was the price on this one?
this one's 180.
Oh wow.
So I'm
Yeah.
like
So
getting
for
all
a
that
super
for
trainer,
180, that's crazy. Yeah.
man, yeah, that's quite good. I mean, that's cheaper than the Mach X3.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I
no
love.
plate,
And
Love.
just foam.
ideally,
So
ideally will, I mean, according to their marketing, will last longer, twice as
Mhm.
long.
mhm,
Right. And the first when I first put the shoe on, I remember it was a really early morning run before work in the winter, and I never do caffeine early in the morning.
mhm,
And it was I put the shoe on and started running in it, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Mhm.
I
mhm,
will say I've gone back and forth with this shoe since w that first run. Um, I think it feels really good for strides. Like, I did hill strides in it the other day, and
mhm,
that felt really good. Um, it doesn't feel bad on easy runs for me, but I feel like it wants me to run a little bit faster, maybe,
mhm.
just to feel good, but I do like the shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the shoe.
And maybe it's because like easy runs from my house, like there's a lot of hills around, so like it's
Yeah.
nice to have these like going
We're
uphill as opposed to like yeah, so like
and
it
down.
does like make those runs feel really nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do we wanna
Yeah, I think it's
Okay,
time.
I have so many thoughts about the laces, and I have to start with this parachute because I was kind of cracking up when I pulled these out. And like, you have this like really nice, I'm so sorry, Mountain to Coast, because this is like, I get that the lacing system is great and I do think it really helps, but like, how come we have like the most tech? This is so tech, like it hooks on this, it's so nice. It hooks. This is legit like a Converse lace. Like this is a like someone was like,
hand
"Shoe,
on
we
this?
need laces for these shoes." Like this
Where
is
will
just
we find them?
cotton. This is just cotton. Like at
This
least
reminds me it reminds
no,
me
but
of
this one is at
going
least like synthetic or
yeah,
something. Like
with this is
sorry,
called
yeah.
somehow it reminds me of like trying on shoes at like Payless when I was like
Yes.
9. Like
Yes.
I was brought back to like Payless shoes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I
I
call
mean, this
these the
is
mullet laces because it's like it's really casual in the back. It's like very fancy in the
that's
front. Like,
they're
yeah.
called Tune Fit. That's like
Yeah.
Mount to Coast. So in my mind, this is Mount to Coast like differentiator, right? Like how do we
Yeah.
stand out? And this is it for me. The cool thing, at least about the C1s, is they have a hook. So you can hook
Yes.
them on here. However, I'm not so sure. Rebecca, you said the lacing. I disagree. I think the lacing system, I love
Mm.
Mount to Coast. I am like so much to say about the company, so many good things. I don't like the leasing system for me. It doesn't make
Mhm.
sense.
So
Whereas the T1 has at least they're two sets, right? It's like still the Tune Fit, but they're both pull. Um,
Mhm.
and so I think the tightening works really well and
Mhm.
the security in my foot works really well. I'm wondering if that's why I didn't feel so, like,
Yeah.
locked in with these is because of the
Mhm.
lacing system. I think it's
Mhm.
doing a little too much, and I also don't like that you have to tuck it in or it flops. And
Yeah.
even with this, it's like, what if there's a stick that gets caught in this?
you
Yeah.
get a
Or
stick
like a
from the
little
side.
like a branch on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it, like, perfectly snags
Yeah.
this. But, like, it's big enough that it's not that outlandish.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Um, so that was like that's honestly that's my biggest kind of beef with like this line.
Mhm.
And it wouldn't deter me from buying the T1s.
Yeah.
Hmm. So my thought is Mount to Coast has a major differentiator in the foam. So it
Mhm.
feels to me like, why did we have to go? Not everything has to be innovative. Like some things just
Mhm.
work because they work, and lacing on a lot of shoes just works pretty well. I personally have never really had an issue with needing to differentiate the tightness of lacing from the like this portion of
Never.
my foot to this portion of my foot. It's just not something I've ever thought about.
Mhm.
And so when I got these, I had questions about why we needed this. And I think my biggest thought is like, I love what Matcha Coast is doing. I think they're doing amazing work. Like the foam is already like a really cool differentiator, and it just feels like didn't
Mhm.
we didn't need to, really do a ton there. So
Yeah. And for me, I'm also like each shoe has a different lacing configuration. Like at least make them the same. At least make them all
mm,
like this with the hook, or make them all, like the T1 with the
Mhm.
little tuck in pocket.
Yeah, the upper has a
So
tuck
that's
in pocket
to me,
one.
and like maybe that's just because yeah, they're still newer, like figuring out what works. But like for me, it would make sense if they were all because once I realized that this had a hook, I was like, oh shoot, did I just miss that the other ones have a hook too? And then I realized that they don't. So
Yep.
yeah. The
that
only
was
thing
my
I'll
main thought
say
there.
about the T1s is with the lacing, I did sometimes feel when you put the laces into their little pocket, sometimes I could feel that pressing a little bit on the top of my foot. And so I had to really, I had to spend a little bit more time thinking about getting the fit right before I
Yeah.
started my run, and just something to be aware of.
Yeah, me
Hmm.
too.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we have lots to say about the Mount Coast shoes. We'll do a full write up that we will share on our Substack, and that
Hmm.
will include all of the tech specs. And yeah, but it's been great getting to test out and get familiar with a new
Yeah.
brand. And I think all in all, I'm feeling really excited about what they're bringing to market, and
Yeah.
Can
excited to see what
we,
they.
as like since we're wrapping up, as we go, can we do a quick show the shoe that you would buy from Mount to Coast out of
Oh
the
yeah.
three? Or your top
Yeah.
shoe? That's a different
Ready?
one. Top shoe.
Yep.
Are we
Yeah,
doing
ready?
a one, two, three?
Wow, nice,
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
I love it. I will buy another pair of these.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
I
They're
That's
great.
good feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel similarly about these guys.
Me too.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, It's been really fun getting to chat with you guys about all things gear and shoes, and we will see you next time here on
Yeah.
Gear
And
Gabs.
sorry we
Here on
didn't get
Gear
to talk
Gabs.
about the Satisfy Summit, but maybe it's for the best.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, probably for the best. There's plenty
Yeah,
of
maybe
chatter
we'll talk about
online,
it
right?
next time. Let's see. Well, it'll just keep simmering on the internet, and we'll see what continues
Yeah.
to surface from that
Yeah.
activation, and
Yeah.
we can chat about it at our next podcast. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
all right. Well, so good to see you both. So good to connect, and yeah, we'll see you next time here on Gear
Yeah.
Gabs.
See you next
Right.
time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.